It's been a beautiful day of a mix of snow and sunshine. And happy Valentine's Day to you and your loved ones and your families. I'm really excited about tonight's topic that's totally in alignment with Valentine's Day. Tonight we're talking about heart coherence. So, heart coherence is talking about the brain heart connection and how to balance your brain heart connection and how this affects your health and things that you can do to optimize your heart coherence and your health from the inside out. So I'm going to jump right on in. Some of this is going to be kind of sciencey, which a lot of people love to hear, and some of it's going to be more abstract, but it all blends together and it's a really beautiful topic. So if you have any questions as I'm going through this, as people log on, I have a chat bar over here, so feel free to type them in. So your feelings, your nervous system, your health, like how does this all connect? And first off, most people know, if you know what the central nervous system is. So the central nervous system is your brain, your spinal cord, and everything that it connects to. And this is, think of it as the master control system of your body. So the brain is telling your body what to do all the time. Literally, those nerves go to every single cell, tissue, and organ in your body. And then those different sensory input that you receive through touch, through hearing, through seeing, through tasting, through smelling, all the ways that you feel and sense the world around you, that's all sending signals to your brain. And then your brain interprets them and sends them back. And it's this constant dialogue between your brain and your body. So most people think that when it comes to communication in the body, the brain is where it's at, the nervous system is where it's at, and especially as a neurological based chiropractor, I agree. It is where it's at. And we're all about optimizing the nervous system with what we do. But a big factor is your heart. So your heart plays a role when it comes to your feelings. And some people think that's just a metaphor, that like your center, your feeling center, your heart is here. And that's where you feel your feelings. And it's true. You feel your feelings in your heart. Your heart is communicating to your brain about what you're feeling. And this changes the way that your brain communicates to your body. It's really, really fascinating. So it's a two-way relationship. Think your heart is always communicating to your brain, and your brain is always aware of what's going on with your heart. So it's really this dance. It's like a duet dance that they do together all of the time. And when you can really tune in to the dance, you can make huge changes in your health and your life. So one resource, so this is going to be like a 20-minute webinar. And this is a topic that you can, if you're interested in it, you can dive really deeply. HeartMath.org, the HeartMath Institute, is like cutting edge research and information on this very topic. So if you want to learn more, HeartMath.org is where to go. So when we're talking about this communication between the brain and the heart, in the brain, think of it as there's really two ways of communicating. There's neurological communication, which is literally the nerve impulses that I was just talking about. So the heart is like a mini brain with a lot of its own independent neurological connections that it's sending its own unique signals to the brain, and the brain is always aware of every single signal that's going on. So they communicate through these signals, through the nerves. Amazing, fascinating. And then there's biochemical communication. So the biochemical communication is through hormones. So hormones go through the bloodstream. And since the heart is responsible for pumping the blood to every single cell, tissue, and organ in the body, when these hormones are excreted from the heart into the bloodstream, this also goes to the brain. And so these nerve impulses and these hormones are literally being sent directly to the feeling emotional centers of the brain, where the brain interprets these nerve impulses and these hormones, and it decides how the body should respond to these feelings. So it's quite fascinating. Our bodies are so intelligent. It's so brilliant. Like being a body worker, being a healthcare professional, I know a lot about the body. Like I have studied years and years and years and worked on so many people in practice. And I am learning new things about the body on a regular basis. It's just fascinating. And I think that science and healthcare should always kind of have that mindset of, we're always learning about the body because it's so complex, it's so brilliant, and it's so intelligent, and it's so adaptable. So, little tangent there. But so what we're talking about here, a little recap. So that biological, neurochemical, or biochemical, neurological signals to the brain. And so depending on what emotion we're talking about, this changes the way the brain responds to the heart. So if you're feeling anger, this anger is a really good example of like an erratic, incoherent emotion. So you feel anger. So literally epinephrine is going to be produced, and this hormone from the heart is going to signal to the brain that you're angry. The brain is going to interpret this feeling of anger and respond with fight or flight. So if the brain is going to tell the body to like clench your fists, clench your jaw, to maybe sweat, to feel that like intense rage in your body, that all is coming from the brain. But the brain told your body to react that way because your heart responded to the feeling. So if this is called incoherence. So when you're feeling this intensity, that's an incoherent feeling. But it happens. I mean, I'm one to think that no emotions are bad and every emotion serves a purpose, as long as we don't get stuck there in those negative, low vibe emotions, to really feel and breathe through them. But you don't want to be in that state of stress and anger and frustration on the regular, because that means you're literally going to be releasing stress hormones chronically. And we all know that that is the leading cause of chronic issues and health problems in our world today. So the opposite of experiencing anger and rage and frustration would be experiencing joy and peace and happiness and love. And so when you're experiencing these, you have a more consistent heart rate. So a little back up. So when you're thinking about heart rate, so when you're angry, if you were looking at a graph of the heart rate, it would be like up and down. It would be all over the place. Versus when you're feeling peace, joy, love, happiness, it's very smooth, very even, peaks and valleys, and it's coherent. So when we're talking about coherence, incoherent is the jaggedy, like all over the place reading, and coherence is the smooth, happy, healthy, what we want, balance in the nervous system. And so that's really important to know when it comes to your health, because we live in a stressful world. We have a lot of triggers. We have a lot of emotional stress, physical stress, chemical stressors bombarding us on a daily basis. And truly, it's easy to get stuck in an incoherent, frustrated place on a daily basis, whether it's through work or family or money, you name it. All of these things can influence these emotions, which influence the brain, which influences the health of your body. So back to joy and love. So you have this consistent, coherent heart rate. That's your body's in coherence between your heart and your brain. Beautiful. And this is going to allow your body to release the happy hormones. So the dopamine, the serotonin, all the good ones, the oxytocin, all the love hormones. And the symptoms of this are going to be happiness. So you're going to have better mental clarity, stronger, more self-confidence, more motivation, just more connection with people in your life. Overall, all the things that signify a healthy, mentally, emotionally healthy person that we want everybody to feel. I mean, not all the time, it's life, but if we can feel coherent and balanced the majority of the time, then we're setting our bodies up for a long, happy, healthy life. And this goes for kids too, because our kids are definitely faced with a lot of stress these days. And there are some kids who get stuck in these chronic stress responses and are always throwing tantrums and always being oppositional and defiant and always coming home from school like upset. And that means their heart-brain connection is out of coherence as well. And so at the end of this, we're going to talk about ways that you can help get your heart-brain balance healthy and happy. So talked about the coherence, and now how does this affect your health? So I mentioned your brain is always aware of what's going on with your heart, and your heart is always communicating to your brain. So this is talking about like heart rate, like we talked about, like the coherent or the incoherent heart rate. It's talking about the expansion and contraction, talking about the health of the blood vessels, the different hormones. So if you're angry or stressed often, again, you're in that constant incoherence, when this means you have abnormal heart rhythms, stress hormones are chronic, blood pressure's going up, the blood vessels are more constricted, your immune system's weaker, and you're literally putting a strain on all of the organs and systems of your whole entire body. And this sounds really familiar, right? Like this is a lot of people that are stuck in this incoherent stress pattern with their heart and their brain. And oftentimes they are aware of it and they don't know what to do. So they take the blood pressure medications if that's what their doctor recommends. And, they continue to do things to kind of numb it out, like the drinking of alcohol, the eating unhealthy foods, and that all just adds to the problem. And then we have people who are highly susceptible to getting sick and they're not happy. And it's just like this vicious cycle. They don't know how to get out of it. But the opposite of that, if you're positive and optimistic more often, your body's in a more smooth, coherent pattern like we talked about. You have good heart rate variability, efficient cardiovascular system, and your nervous system is balanced. Your nervous system knows how to adapt to stress. So we can't avoid stress. We say this all the time. You can't avoid the stress of life, whether you're a parent or whether you're have a busy work schedule or you're just juggling all sorts of family stuff. We can't avoid stress. We can't avoid the chemical stressors that are everywhere in our toxic world, truly. And we can't avoid all of the physical stressors that go along with whether you live a really active lifestyle or you've been in a car accident or just pregnancy and birth and parenthood, all the things. So we can't avoid those things, but we can better adapt. And when our nervous system and our heart are in balance and coherence, we can better adapt and to all stressors and be a better version of ourselves and help raise a healthier generation to come. So this is something that we measure at our office all the time, literally every single day. When we have people coming in for their first visit and consistently throughout care, we're measuring heart rate variability, which is basically measuring the coherence of your heart. And most of the time when we take somebody's measurement their first visit, they're in full fight or flight, sympathetic dominance. They have all sorts of inflammation and symptoms showing up in their body. And then through the work that we do to balance the nervous system and help remove that dysfunction that's going on between the brain and the body, then we remeasure the heart rate variability and we see more coherence. We see more balance in the nervous system. We see more adaptability. And the technology is incredible and we just absolutely love it. And so we do this in our office every day. So if you're curious what your coherence looks like, your heart-brain coherence, and what your heart rate variability looks like and how it's affecting your stress response and your adaptability, it's something that we can show you if you were interested to come in to see us at Pure Light. And getting adjusted, of course. So as I've transitioned into getting adjusted through a neurologically brain-based chiropractor with gentle honoring techniques to the body, I want to talk about other things you can do to help optimize your health and to help bring your brain and heart into more coherence. So of course, I'm a chiropractor. I'm going to say get adjusted. This is like seriously the biggest thing in my opinion, because if you have that dysfunction in the nervous system, then you're always going to have that stress response to the brain and with the heart and all of it. So getting adjusted is huge. Other tips for a happy, healthy brain and heart would be your usual health tips of moving a lot. So exercise, the benefits of exercise are so profound and so, highly researched and measured and affirmed that moving your body a lot. Movement is life. We're designed to move. And this can be just day to day if you're a mom or dad, like just parenting your kids, you're moving your body a lot, but also really setting your time aside to do some exercise, whether at the gym or if you have a home gym set up, or if you like to go for runs, or you like to really go on big hikes or snowboarding, skiing, just get out and move your body, ride your bike. So important. Eating well and drinking lots of water is big. So a really balanced, healthy, whole foods based, non-GMO, organic diet, decrease the amount of toxins and stressors going into your body on a daily basis. The next one is really big, is express love, give hugs, And this has been something that's been so sad for me to see over the last couple years, is people being so distant from each other with all of, the fears around getting sick and all that, and not being able to see each other's smiles or give hugs, and really seeing people come out of that, thank God. And just really, I love hugging everybody. And hugging is, when you're a hugger, it. But hugging releases oxytocin, and there's receptors in your skin that actually also trigger your vagus nerve, which lowers your blood pressure, directly communicates to the heart. And it's so good for you. It's good for everybody. It's like a win-win all around. And when you're giving someone a hug, those positive, coherent love vibes are strengthening your immune system. So you're better off doing a hug than not doing a hug. Express love, right? Love notes to your family. Surprise somebody just for no reason. Just express love to people in your community. Smile at people, hold the door for them. Whatever you can do to express love. This is not only benefiting your community, and you're not only just being a really good person, you're also benefiting your health and your well-being. Like, how cool is that? It's a win-win for everybody. Next one is mindfulness. So we all have triggers, we all have traumas, we all have things that set us off into those incoherent, chronic thought patterns. And mindfulness is an amazing practice of just really being aware, checking in with yourself throughout the day, or when you feel yourself getting incoherent, or you feel those symptoms of like sweating and anger and clenched jaw, and you're frustrated, and you're driving down the road and you're slamming on the gas, and you're getting frustrated on all the other cars. Like, this is signs that you need to tune in and that you are out of coherence, and to just be mindful. We all have those days, we all have those moments, but we don't have to stay stuck there, and know that you're in control. And you can always tune in to whatever ways of meditating and praying that ground you down, whether you're listening to music or a guided meditation or whatever you need to do. You're calling someone to just vent. Whatever you need to do to cool down and feel better is going to be so important. So just being mindful is huge in of itself. And then breathing exercises are awesome. So there's a million breathing exercises out there. And one really easy one that you can start if you're not into breathing yet is called coherence breathing, actually. And this brings the heart and the brain into coherence. It's been studied and shown to increase heart rate variability. And so it's really, really simple. And all you need to do is you put one hand on your heart, the other hand on your tummy. You can close your eyes, keep them open. You can put music on when you do this, and you're going to breathe in through your nose for 4 or 5 seconds, and breathe out through your nose for 4 or 5 seconds. You can also breathe out through your mouth if you just want to go and let it all out. That feels really good too. Do this for about 5 minutes. It doesn't sound like a big deal, but you set that timer for 5 minutes and you're like, wow, that was a lot of breathing. And you feel so calm and relaxed after. So in and out for 4 seconds, go up to 5 seconds. Some people do all the way up to 10 seconds in and out. You can do this for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. Some people do it like obviously with your eyes open while driving in the car, hands on the wheel. Or you can do it right before bed. Tonight's a good time to do it. If you're watching this before bed, go ahead and do some coherence breathing tonight before bed and watch how much better you sleep tonight and how good you feel tomorrow. Okay, and then a couple other things to help with coherence and optimizing your heart health is also stress management and preparation. So this could be something as easy as like picking your clothes out the night before work or school for the kids, just really preparing more, not feeling like you're procrastinating or rushing. Rushing is probably one of the biggest causes of stressors, especially if you're starting your day rushing. And preparing, making sure that you have meals planned so that you're getting solid nutrition, that you're getting a good breakfast, that you're eating throughout the day, that you're drinking enough water, and that your meals are planned for dinner so you're not rushing out and getting unhealthy takeout on the regular. And then otherwise, just general self-care, whatever you do to light you up, whether that's yoga or getting massage. Also getting acupuncture care is like hugely helpful in this nervous system balance and heart rate coherence as well. So truly, those are all game changers. And if you start with one or two or all of those, you're going to make a difference. And again, if you are curious where you're at and you want to have your heart rate variability measured and see your coherence level and how you're adapting, that's something we'd be honored to help you with. That's basically what we do at our office. We measure that. We measure the stress in your nervous system. And then we adjust. We use gentle adjusting techniques to calm the nervous system, bring everything into balance and coherence, clear that dysfunction and miscommunication in the brain and the body, and see really miraculous results of people healing and thriving and living up to their full God-given potential. And it is truly an honor to serve this community. We love all of you that we know out there, and thank you so much for watching. This was a really fun one tonight to do on Valentine's Day, talking about the heart and your health. And so I hope you all have had a great Valentine's Day. I hope you got lots of snuggles tonight, and I hope you all have a great rest of your week. All right.